Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, possibly. I don't know who it's good morning for, maybe Australia, but how are you doing? Welcome in to the second edition of Unmundane Mondays. As you can tell, if you did or may or may not have read the description of this video, there is no Perchy, but I do want to specifically shout Perchy out. He's in our he's in our hearts at all times, and that's just because he's such a lovable guy. So we did want to bring you this edition. So I've brought in the cavalry. As you can see, we've got Ben Kaufman. He's looking mighty Western today. How we doing, Ben?
Doing all right. I'm just arguing with members of the audience as always. It wouldn't be a United Spurs of Engelada stream without me arguing with the chat. And yeah, it's a great day. How is everyone doing?
Yeah, Kuva, how are you doing? It's good to see you here. I think you were here on the first Unmundane Monday as well. Ben, you might have been as well. It's actually been like 2 weeks since I did that. I was like, I'm going to do a Monday show, and then the following Monday I had COVID, so really wasn't feeling too good. So we canceled that one, but we're back. Kuva, how are you doing? I know you watched Waterworld instead of the Bournemouth game, so that's
eight enchiladas and Waterworld. It was much better watching Spurs. Yeah, let's keep that going. Food talk from the off air. As soon as we start talking Spurs, three of us are out of here.
Yeah, I do have a poll going in the chat, as you can see. Shout out to Perchy, and I wanted the people to direct the way that this show went. I have a few things that I do want to talk about, but for the most part, it appears as though not many people want to talk about Spurs. Phil, I know you said that you voted Talk Spurs because that's where your mind's at. You've got the love robe on. Quite frankly, I'm a little ashamed that I didn't bring mine out because is this your debut on United Spurs of America, or have I had you on the Friday show before? I thought I might have had you on one of those mayhem shows.
I want to think I've been on the show before because obviously, you're close to my heart, Jacob, but I think this is my debut. And what an auspicious way to make my debut as well.
I've got a feeling you two have been on the same stream before on Sava's charity, 24-hour charity one.
I think both of them.
Yeah, we handed over actually, there's only one Spurs love robe, and we pass it between each other. I'll take it up to the bedroom to give to you later on, mate. But
just make sure it smells like you. That's the rule. 100%. Whenever you pass it to the next person, it has to smell like you. So,
Alarmy scent. Available at no good drugstores. But yeah, look, just massive shout out to Perchy and his family. We wouldn't be here covering him if things have been different. So obviously it's not great that we're here. But
it is great that you're here, because I would like to think that even when Perchy's here, that was part of our thing, was we were going to talk for 15 to 30 minutes and then really just bring on the mayhem and see what we could do from there. And the first episode went really well to that effect. So I was hoping we would get something similar, but you know what? Perchy, we're definitely holding it down for Perchy. We want to have a good time for Perchy. I still have all of his links, so while you're here, please do click the link in the description. If you haven't subscribed to the PerchyTV, please do so. And then also subscribe to the rest of these guys. Got their YouTube links right there in the description as well. Bobby, how you doing, my friend? Long time no see. I feel like we were just on a stream together maybe yesterday or the day before.
I think it was like 24, 26 hours ago, something like that. But I'm doing very well. Yeah. I appreciate the fact that you came to me last, Jacob, and I know why you did it. I like the method to your madness. You looked at the timer, you're 8 minutes, you looked at the panel and thought, who's most likely to swear before the 10-minute mark?
Oh, we're right there.
I'm gonna go to him last. But don't worry, I'm gonna behave. 90 seconds. I can do it. I'm gonna behave myself. I was lucky enough to be at work watching people walk by me and not pay their fares and try to get a free ride instead of watching the Spurs game. So I was in a much better situation. Only got called names. I'm not going to say which ones yet because I've still gotten a minute and 15 here. I think 3 times. I only got cut off about a half a dozen times. So all in all, good day. Good day, man. Yeah. Really good times. Yeah. And I'm here with, my usual homeboys here, the Bollocks crew, the brewing Bollocks crew, I was going to say there. And then, of course, you try to think that you bring on one of the sexiest guys in the YouTube community, and then you go and trump me and you bring the legend himself that has a whole army there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
An entire army behind him wherever he goes.
It's good to see everybody, and hello to everybody in the chat.
Yeah, hello.
And sorry, yes, all our very best, of course, to Perchy in regards to condolences to you and your family, mate, in regards to what you're going through. So we're with you here, mate. We're here for you in support of you. Hopefully, we can do our very best to fill your shoes while you're not here, mate.
Yeah, big up, Perchy.
If it was anyone else, we wouldn't be covering, but because it's Perch and we all like Perch, we're covering for Perch.
There you go. There you go. Lots of love. And that's the thing. If you've been here before, you know we like to share the love. So please do hit that like and hit that subscribe to myself and everyone in the description. That'd be very groovy of you to do. I see we're on 19 likes, so that's doing pretty nice. 13 votes. Usually we have more votes than likes, but big shout out to the fact that the ratio is sitting pretty right now. It may change as the show goes on, but big up my high Hotspur, says big up my homies. Carl Simpson, hello gents, hope you are well. And we got Ben Kaufman. Might I add, Ben Kaufman, the first official channel member of the YouTube sphere, however you want to say that.
I know it's never good to come first, but it's good that I came first.
Yeah. I'm glad you came first, Ben. You do have memberships. Yeah, I'm supposed to. YouTube told me I'm supposed to announce that like at the beginning of the show, but you know, I do things a little differently.
We're near the beginning, right? We're nearer the beginning and then the end. So
we're technically past the 10-minute mark, so this is where shit really starts, isn't it? It is.
Go. Yeah. Let the ads find us now. We're 10 minutes into the program. That's also part of the tricky thing, you know. I thought that might be why, you know, channels as they got bigger, they had like those countdown videos before they actually went live to like get people to come in. And then my thought was it also kills some of that 10-minute timer that you're kind of waiting to get over. So that's a very smart move. Kills two birds with one stone. And I'm all about killing some birds with some stones, if you know what I mean. But let me keep saying what's up to the channel. Oh, you can get your channel membership. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Get your channel membership. Michael's going to have a whole good spiel about it on Friday. So don't worry about that. But for me, you know, just go hit that join button. There's some options there if you want to. If not, you can also super chat. That's something new on the channel as well. I got a banner for that. Hold on. Boom. Yo, we got monetized. Wow. You could hit the subscribe.
I'll do the Bollywood thing.
Hit that super chat. Yeah, you already know. So big up everybody that is in the chat already. Mark Cousins, big up y'all. During this intro, we'll hire and fire manager. Is it that long? Was it too long, y'all? Let me know. Let me know if it was too long. Big up Carl Simpson's in the house.
No, like you said, it's a good way to get to that 10 minutes.
Shut up, Carl.
Jacob, quickly though, in regards to that membership thing, if you're gonna have Michael do the spiel, you should just make the video of it, like one of your intro videos and stuff. And that way, when you do your solo shows, your pop-ups,
I can just play a video of Michael do. Yeah, that's what I need to do. And instead of telling him, I'm actually just going to screen record him next time he does it, and I'm going to do it without his permission because he's a part of the program.
Copyright against his own channel?
No.
There you go.
He's in the description. He's screwed either way. But we love you, Michael. You're probably at work right now, so it's only 2:45 here in El Paso, so you know how I'm doing. Yeah, shut up, Carl says Stuart. Big up, Stuart. Y'all are already going at it about the Kit Kats. Okay, one of the things we were talking about in the back of the show was
Phil stressing.
I'm going to try to keep this show on topic, and I think Phil is on my side. So Phil's part of the army of keeping things on topic. And then and there goes Kuva.
I'm out.
Kuva just dipped. He doesn't.
We didn't even say what the topic was.
There goes Bobby.
We got two.
Yeah, there goes Ben. They all left, and then there were two, and then there were two. Okay, we got one back. Here we go. They're coming back. They're coming back. And was it the mention
equivalent? It was the YouTube equivalent of taking Sanchez off.
That's perfect. That's actually a perfect segue, Phil, into the match.
We were cheered off the field.
It's what I bring to the table.
Yeah, thanks. You know, the last time I streamed with you when you came on our show was the first time together. It was so enjoyable. You were so full of love and so nice and everything. Man, you've taken a turn for the worst.
Listen, this is
The love is gone. Spurs have taken it
the
away.
love is, this is still in my loving space, but the Venn diagram between the love and hate of Spurs is a really messed up diagram, mate. That
reminds me of in Donnie
anyone-
Darko when they draw the line between fear and love, you know, and you got to figure out, is this where are we at in the line of fear and love? I actually have that tattooed on the back of my arm, so that's a really cool.
Wow.
Really cool saying. Y'all were talking about movies earlier on Brewing Bollocks over there on the Kauffie Company. Big up Mick Armilick, by the way. I was screaming at my computer during breakfast because of the conversations y'all were having, and I felt like you weren't listening to my comments enough. And I'm not going to get digressed by talking about movies, but maybe at the end of this show, I'll tell you.
Overrated movies ever. What's Bob's favourite movie?
Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah,
Shawshank.
it is, isn't it? Fuck.
Wait, no, not Shawshank Redemption. Wait, is it Shawshank? No, I'm thinking about Schindler's List.
Bob's favorite movie is Shawshank. Yeah.
Shawshank Redemption.
No,
That's
Bob
right.
loves
Yeah.
Shawshank.
Bob loves Shawshank. That's what it is. Phil Army in the building. Evening, Jacob, Ben, Kuva, Phil P. Everyone in the chat says Stuart. He was already fighting before he even said hello. I'm gonna run through some of this. So y'all are going at each other about the biscuit and the thing. To me, it's all it's candy. Chocolate bar, biscuit, doesn't matter. It's candy. A Kit Kat is candy. If I go to the store and I'm looking for a Kit Kat, it's in the candy aisle. Where would I ever look in the biscuit aisle? That's with like the crackers and the cookies and stuff. The candy aisle is separate. The candy aisle is like in front where all they try and get you to buy stuff before you leave. So that's where I stand with the biscuit, Kit Kat, chocolate thing.
Looks like America finally got one right.
Yeah, put Kit Kats in the biscuit aisle. Yeah.
Hey, big up EK, showing some love.
Yeah.
Even though we go to
Can I
St.
just say though, this is exactly what Levy wants. Levy wants us divided on Kit Kat. we're playing into his hands. The fans have turned on each other.
But then get Kuva to agree. It's a chocolate bar.
No,
Big
leave
up, Lisa.
Big up, Lisa.
Big up, Lisa.
So what you're saying is Kuva and Daniel Levy are on the same side.
No,
Not
what I'm
chance.
Whoa,
Levy can't
Whoa.
stand
That's
it.
slander, bro. Yeah.
Right,
What I'm saying is we all need to
blasphemy.
grab our Kit Kats and storm the battlements together. You know, we've all got to bring the army together.
Here we go. This is why Levy has nothing to do with them. What are Kit Kats wrapped in?
Tinfoil.
Silverware.
Oh, no, not anymore.
Silverware. It'd have nothing to do with it.
That's good.
Done, Kuva.
I think that puts the end to the biscuit candy conversation. Lisa voted for food because Ben told me to.
Yeah.
No food,
You know,
everybody,
that's
food,
I don't
food,
know how they
food.
do it. Well, I know you're in Mexico, but I don't know how they do it down there in Mexico. All right, and down in the Jaliscos. All right. I'm talking about when you vote, it's supposed to come from your heart and your head and your body and your soul.
And be influenced by
And not be swayed by propaganda ads.
Yeah, but food. Benny, what do you say? Benny, what do you
But
say?
as my old mate $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase used to say, everybody's got a price.
Mm.
There you go. There you go.
Big up EK. The weekend we go to war. May the best team win. If we're talking best team win, Newcastle will definitely be staying at home with their 3 points. If it is us, if we're talking about shifty-eyed, sneaky bastard who could get in there and maybe steal a couple points, then you're talking about us. But if you're talking about best team, EK, you're talking about Newcastle a little bit. Does anyone really think we're gonna go to Newcastle away and do something?
The only result we're getting. Sorry, Kuva.
Sorry, no, go on.
The only
That's
result
actually a
we're getting in
shitty job by the
Newcastle
host.
is
I'm
if some
supposed
of
to
the-
I'm supposed to
Yeah.
throw it around, and I just
Please.
kind of like
Yeah, no,
anyone.
free
take
for all,
it.
let people fight. That's okay. Obviously,
that was
you
my
like
fault,
drama
actually.
here. Obviously,
You're
you
like
like
the
drama.
Joker.
That's what we were brought here for, to fight each other. Go ahead. That's what you want, right? Anger, chaos.
Jacob just
Go ahead,
basically
Phil.
said there's an opening, and he snapped the pool cue and handed it to us, and go, but there's only one job.
That's entertainment.
But go ahead, Phil. You're talking about the weekend going to St. James Park. I almost said St. Mary's.
The only result would be if some Spurs fans go to St. Mary's, put St. Mary's into the sat nav, and end up at the wrong stadium.
The bus goes to St. Mary's
to watch
instead.
Spurs. Or if some people go out the night before and just have a really good night out in Newcastle. That's the only sort of result we're going to get. I don't think anything's happening for us on the football pitch. You know, except maybe a few more injuries. I don't know. But look, you never know with Spurs. We could only lose. We could only lose 3-0. But you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Big up the Geordies. You know,
Big up Geordies.
Big up the Geordies. I mean, I remember once upon a time when they were just getting taken over, and I was really like, okay, let's see how this goes. You know, I'm gonna, you know, get to witness firsthand what this. There's Saudi owners, correct? So it was my like real first. I hope so. I'm really geographically not savvy, so if I ever geographically currency symbols, I'm not good with them either. You could tell me which one's a euro today, and tomorrow it's going to look like a euro not telling me the truth. So I think they're Saudi owners, but whenever they were buying the team, I was really curious to see like what they would do, how quickly, and do they just throw money at the problems? And they've really done it wisely. I mean, they've bought. I would argue every signing Newcastle has made since their takeover, they could walk into our 11. Maybe not Isak because of Harry Kane, obviously, but I mean, when you look at Guimaraes, you look at Trippier, you look at Botman. I mean, someone stop me, Nick Poe. Someone stop me whenever we get. Didn't they just get that big, tall dude from Brighton too? Not Dunk, but what's it? Dan Burn. Dan Burn. The big, tall, so tall.
By the left back from.
He plays left back. He was a center back at Brighton.
The other kid.
Like he was going to say no to going home, was he?
No, the other kid. What was he on?
They had the big guy from Burnley. They had the big guy from Burnley.
Yeah, Chris Wood. Chris Wood failed though. Chris Wood was the only failure.
But he came in, did a job, and then they just shipped him out again.
Whenever they could afford, whenever they pulled the needle on what's his name, Isak. Is it Alexander Isak? I think.
Yeah.
EK says I prefer Target at left back than Dan Burn. I still think Dan Burn would walk into our left back position, left wing back. He would walk in there, and that's kind of where I guess I was getting to with their buyover was they've been doing a lot of really smart business. Is this an example of maybe a way we could go forward? What, Ben?
That's the most infuriating thing because not only have they got infinite money, they're spending it wisely. Whereas we keep on saying that we don't have infinite money and we're not an oil club or we're not billionaire bags like Chelsea. So what we should be doing is spending our money wisely, getting a proper recruitment team, seeing what the problems are with the squad and say, we cannot defend. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy better defenders and a proper defensive midfielder. But instead, we buy Richarlison for 65 million. A player
Ben, whoa, settle down, mate. Stop talking sense.
Yeah.
There's no needs.
All right.
There's no
Let's
needs.
name this show to the United Enchiladas of America and fuck this Tottenham shit off. Fuck it.
You fell into Jacob's trap, man.
No. I'll pull you back out. Don't worry. I've finagled a few bear traps in my day, so I'm good to go. Don't you worry about that. Kuva, while I'm going to slightly direct this back to Spurs, I want to ask you, what are you going to watch this weekend? And then what are you eating? Because I know last week was enchiladas and Waterworld, which I can't think of a more dynamic duo.
Dynamic.
How are you going to?
That suggests a Batman movie already.
Batman Forever.
Yeah, but that was really bad, wasn't it?
Ooh. Can't be worse than watching Spurs lose to Newcastle.
Yeah, damn right.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go old school and
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day's a good show. I haven't watched that in a long time, actually.
Blues Brothers.
What about the ones we mentioned today?
You've been watching Groundhog's Day, Kuva, for 22 years.
I have, in a way. Yeah.
Let's be honest about this here.
You finally watch The Day After Tomorrow again, Cooves.
I don't think I will. I don't need to. I remember it, so I don't need to refresh on that one. But
13th Warrior. There you go.
I think I might pick out one cult classic I mentioned earlier today, and it's The Crow. the Brandon Lee film.
Yeah,
Hey,
brilliant.
Perchy just messaged me and said, thank you so much, everyone.
Perch.
He's seen the show. So big up, Perch.
Big up,
Perchy.
Yeah, Perchy.
Big up, Perchy. And while I'm thinking about Perchy, all right, I'm thinking about this past weekend. I know he wasn't too thrilled with what he saw. I know he's not too thrilled with things that are going on. I'm not going to speak for him, but when I speak for myself, Davinson Sanchez, there's a major topic here that I think needs to be discussed, and it is the fact that he got booed in his home stadium wearing his home kit, his family likely sitting in the family section. I wonder, were they booing as well? Because is it one, bad to boo, and is it two, is he's just a big vagoonie? Because you know what? Even if your family's there and they witness this booing and it makes you want to cry, I see it as this club, these fans have been funding your lights to be on, your food to be on the table, you to have this nice car and to be able to rent out a chef, or, I mean, you probably got family that you're taking care of as well outside of your immediate family. You're pretty well off. And if you get booed at the workplace because you're not doing well, I mean, the people paying you, I feel like that's at least nice, because if you work in an office, the bosses behind closed doors will be like, oh, this he's shit, man. He fucking sucks. You know, what are we going to do? Oh, maybe we sack him. Maybe we do this. Maybe we do that. Whereas when you're getting booed by the people who are directly funding you, I think that's a great way of directly hearing from the people who fund you. So that's just my thought. Does anyone have any feelings about
the lot there, Jacob? It's almost like Davinson Sanchez has got hold of your internet connection there.
Really?
You really
No,
really
No, he didn't.
he was fine for me.
It might be your end, Coofs.
Uh-oh.
You're having my connection problems.
Levy's come for you, Kuva.
You're having my
Levy's come
issues.
for you.
Levy's coming for you, Kuva, because he's coming for you.
Everybody else was fine. It was just Jacob.
Weird. Was I spitting too much facts? I don't know. Was the heat too much for the microphone, for the internet connection? The wavelengths couldn't handle the angle of the dangle. Big up, Perchy
got
TV.
Distracted, man. He was staring into your eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it was?
That's
Is it my? Am I all right?
You're
Can
fine for us, man. Yeah, it was just.
y'all hear me all right? Yeah. Okay.
It's the biscuit inners.
Big up, Perchy. I just want to say to you in the pound chat, much love. It truly means the world. Big up, Perchy. Big up, Perchy. Oh, Alan Sibley is in the house. 10-inch himself. Bid him up. Hitting us with a big old super chat.
Shut up, Alan.
Ben, do not tell Alan Sibley to shut up on this channel, playing or not. I got so much respect for Alan Sibley. He's always shown me so much love. So I can't condone anyone telling. I'll always say, Alan, speak up. Yell at him, speak up, Alan. That's what I say. Speak up instead of shut down. Wait, that didn't make sense. Big up, Alan, with the super chat of the day. Says Jacob, last week's Patty was joint first super chat poster talk was crap. As was Ellie's 9.99 pounds is the highest one. Just saying. Yeah, you've actually broken the record. So technically it was Mile High Hotspur had the biggest super chat of the day last Friday when we celebrated the monetization. But this is now the most on a super chat. So thank you so much for this generous donation. I'm putting a sexy little star on that because I'm going to keep
the
it
kind
real.
of money gets you 10 inches, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is
Alan's doing up a vintage Levy tactic of throwing money at the problem. So, God bless him.
Big up Alan Sibley helping us celebrate the fact that we are monetized over here on YouTube. All that's going to do is tell the sexy advertisers to go on over and advertise on United Spurs of America, because quite frankly, this helps the algorithm as well as liking. So if you do want to go the free route, just liking this video is immense for the channel as well. Just being here, watch time, then the ads. No, actually, apologies. I have been working. Hopefully no one gets hit with an ad in the middle of this stream. I've been working with the settings. It was all checkbox and I unchecked some. So hopefully no one gets interrupted. Last week, everyone got interrupted with an ad and was like, oh, this guy's gone commercial. He's a fugazi. And it was a whole heap and pile of steamy poo-poo. So I hope to avoid that. I don't want to advertise in the middle of the show. I hope they just advertise at the end. But big up Alan Sibley with a generous donation here to the channel saying he wants to be number one. And you know what? you can't be number one when you're number 10 inches. But if anyone could be both, I think it's you, Sir Alan. So thank you so much for that. The light keeps turning on and off. I think my son's playing with the remote in the other room, so that's fun. But I'm gonna go back to this real quick and say big up Perchy, showing some love. He came through. He heard the kind words. So as long as you know you can feel our love, that's all that matters to us. H Talks Chelsea, big up H Talks. Says big up Jacob in the panel, a Chelsea fan, but you do great content for your club, and I respect that. Keep it up, like the vid people. Do what he says. He's a Chelsea fan, and he's telling you to like the video. He liked the video, so
real Chelsea.
Come on. Big up H Talks as well. I know you're doing your channel over there, so all love and prosper over there. Hope to see you over there soon. So big up everyone in the chat. Mark Cousins also says Kuva got that BobbyK Wi-Fi. No kidding. I was actually expecting BobbyK to be the first one to break up, but it's interesting. Kuva said that I was breaking up, and then I started looking because normally I do get a little Wi-Fi signal when my wife's doing something in the other room and I'm over here in the other room, and the Wi-Fi just gets split apart. But hopefully everyone can hear me all right.
All good.
All good.
I wanted to talk a little bit. We were talking about the Sanchez getting booed thing. Does anyone here think it's morally wrong to boo Davinson Sanchez when he's doing poor if you are A, paying customer, and B, someone very unpleased with the product you're paying for?
The only thing I want to say on this is why are we booing Sanchez instead of booing the actual problem of the football club, and it's the person that's allowed him to stay here for too long. We all know that Davinson Sanchez is not good enough to play for Tottenham. But there is only one man who's stopping him from leaving, and that's Daniel Levy. Because he wants.
I thought he meant Eric Dyer.
Eric Dyer.
Like, don't leave me, Dave. Don't leave me here.
Ben Davis. All these players.
Not only that, Ben. I was going to say not only that, but who else do we blame for the fact that these players haven't developed while they've been here?
Yeah. Him. Because we've not bought the players.
Quite a few.
Sanchez was a really talented player at Ajax. He was athletic, he was young, he was strong, he was quick. What he needed was a pillar of a centre-half next to him to coach him through games and to get him better. What we've done is we've neglected our defence for so long that we've got crap defenders next to him. So we thought, you know what, instead of buying better defenders to help our other defenders, what we'll do is hire defensive managers, because that will improve things. If your coffee is crap, you don't get another barista, you get better coffee. And that's that at the end of the day. But we've got these crap tools like Ben Davis, Eric Dyer, Harry Winkses, there's so many of them, Ryan Sessegnons, none of them can defend. None of them can defend.
Yeah, but Ben, I think the issue actually is as well. I agree, but to Bobby's point, there is an issue around like when Sanchez came in that first season playing beside Jan. Yeah. He looked the bee's knees.
Absolutely, and that's my point.
The players aren't even players we know are class like Sonny and KANE aren't playing near their optimum because generally the malaise at the club is sucking everyone down. But just to go back quickly to the just to go back quickly to the question, which I don't usually like to do. I usually like to go down a winding path for a couple of hours and then see where we end up.
What kind of path? Are we talking like a beach or like a park, like a nice trail in a park that leads maybe to a river or something?
The yellow brick road. But then it turns out that it's basically infested with zombies and in the middle of a war-torn ghetto.
That sounds like a wicked trip, Phil.
It sounds amazing.
That sounds like one of my bus routes.
That basically is like walking to Spurs rather than getting the train. That's basically what I've just described. Anyway,
I love
enough about Tottenham Tourism Board. What I would say, Tottenham is actually lovely, so get down here, everyone. What I would say is I haven't got a problem with supporters at the ground making their feelings known and booing, right? I've done it before, not my proudest moments, but I've done it before to players. I remember booing Vinny Samways, so some of us that might be old enough to remember that, first player I ever booed, and I had to defend myself from the guy in front of me at the time. and I was only a young slip of a lad, obviously, when I did it. But on Saturday, I've got to say, when that second goal went in, and you know he was in some way culpable, obviously, and there was a few people around us really lost it, and then straight away the next couple of times he touched the ball was getting seriously booed. I've got to admit myself, I was like, this is wrong. This is wrong. This isn't going to help the guy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. And in the end, it's a raw one, right? Because in the end, if you're not good enough, but you're, like you're saying, Ben, but you're put in that position, right? We're not going to be where we need to be as a football club if we've still got players that are subpar. But also, we're not getting the most out of the players we've got. But really, you know where I stand, guys. Anyone that's seen me on this or other shows before, you know, I can't really blame the fans, right? Because no one knows what other people are going through, right? We haven't got a gauge as to, look, why were the people around me losing it and booing him? Why were only a certain amount of us, even though the acoustics, obviously, in our lovely stadium, ironic that the house that Levy built at great expense on using our money as a deposit, meant that, you know, the few of us that were booing against him and chanting "We want Levy out" sounded brilliant. So, you know, big up to Levy. Thanks, mate. Stitch yourself up, didn't you, Dan? You stitched yourself up.
Yeah,
it's a great stadium to boo in.
Exactly. What I would say, anyone that wants to chant against the ownership, project your voice. So, you know, stand up, big and tall, open up your diaphragm, but project your voice towards the roof, especially if you sat, you know, further up like myself in the cheap seats. And then it just reverbs off the ceiling, and it, you know, everyone can hear basically. You've got to get a bit of reverb going.
To add on to that, Phil, I just want. Sorry, were you finished?
Never.
Sorry, go ahead.
Mate.
Sorry,
Pass it back. I'm going to tag you in.
I'm probably worse than you. You have to cut me off. You know that. No, I just want to add on to that. I can appreciate the fact that you want to boo a player, but then to turn around and cheer him when he's subbed off as well. It's, you know, you want to open the wound and stuff like that. Okay, but to start rubbing salt in it and stuff like that, and then the follow up after that, the attack on social media to the point where he has to disable his social media account. It happened with him. It happened with Porro, and I believe it just happened with Saka from Arsenal.
Porro's back though. He tweeted that. He tweeted today. Porro is back. I'm
just saying, but even to affect a player to the point where even if they shut it down for 5 minutes, for them to even consider the fact that I need to turn off my social media because I'm being attacked by my own fans, you know, it's too much. There's limits and there's
when
levels
the wolf pack is starving, Bobby. When the wolves are starving, you know what? The weakest ones get eaten. The weakest ones get eaten.
But you don't need a baby first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
for the big fat ones, he's been here 3 months.
Unless he's a little plump, and
he's been here 3 months. Go after the guy that's been here 10 years, 8 years, 7 years first. The ones that have been here that have been.
I agree, but he's been here. He's been here long enough
and doing fuck all to earn their paycheck.
Sanchez has been here long.
Go after first, then every right, but then don't. You can't break this kid as soon as he's come in. Sorry, Jacob.
You're talking about Porro. I agree 100%. Pedro Porro, I agree. It's not right to jump on him yet. Give him 5 years if he's 4 years. Yeah. I mean, if he's still shit in 4 years at defending, and Leicester City can cross him up like that, make him look like he's doing what's that game, hopscotch, where you go like 1, 2, 2, 1.
Yeah.
His defending is woeful, and you know what? If he's still here in 4 years playing like that, I would want him booed as well. But Davinson Sanchez has been here long enough. I agree. You want to know who suspect number 1 is?
And you guys never win anything, right? No. And you guys never win anything.
That fucking guy. But yes, Jacob, boo him. Why isn't he booed? That's my question to the people booing. Yeah. Why ain't they booing Eric Dyer? Oh, is it because he's an English boy and he's friends with Dave Portnoy? Like, what the hell do they see in this guy? He speaks Portuguese? I don't understand.
Jacob, to be fair to Porro, though, he was brought in. Sorry, Phil, just one thing quick, please. To be fair, he was brought in to play an attacking right wing back position in a Conte system. So the fact that he can't defend might not even been looked at because our scouting department is so inept at actually looking at players are fair all around.
Yeah.
Right? They
Yeah, that's
knew
very
this
fair.
guy was attacking. He would fit into what Conte wants for an attacking wing back. Okay, great. Got him in. Fire Conte. All yours, Phil.
Mate, you're spot on. But the thing is, and my listen, and my worry is my dad is hardly ever wrong when it comes to a footballer, and he's already seriously worried about Porro. And I know we haven't actually paid out that much money yet, but obviously he's on a £40 million promise or something, and you just think to yourself, and Kuva, I'm sure you've said something along these lines before as well, maybe not about Porro, but surely as a footballer, you should be able to do more than one thing, right? You shouldn't just be able to bomb forward. But to be fair, the other day Porro wasn't attacking well or defending well.
Yeah.
But look, the issue is, as I say, even players we know that are a great level aren't performing at the moment. So it's complete failure at all levels of the club at the moment. We are completely listless. You know what gets me, and I don't want to completely get off topic of the booing side just yet, because I actually think Ben is actually spot on. We can boo players, and I get that, but ultimately, it's really, everyone's picking and choosing, and obviously everyone breaks at different points, and that probably was the last straw for some people. Sanchez getting spun, and then he got a tackle in, and it goes straight to Solanke, and he scores. But in the end, I don't understand why there isn't even more ire towards the board, because even if you were completely happy with how the club's been run up until now, which if you are, maybe you've had a Bob Spur style coma situation, for the last 22 years. But even what's going on at the moment, everyone knew that the contract was only up until June this year. Okay.
Yeah.
So surely anyone running anything, let alone a football club, would have some sort of succession planning in mind and think, right, what do we do in June? And now the blow-ups happen, so we're just bringing that forward. But as everyone knows, I went off on one after we lost to Milan, and that was a week after we'd lost to Sheffield United. Conte was always, this isn't a shock to anyone, Conte was always going to flame out. This is what he's done at the last 3 clubs he's managed. He loses it, right? And then he just basically either walks or has to go. And that's what's happened here. This was always likely to happen. So there should have been a succession plan in place. Now, maybe it wasn't ready to go. We're not ready to pull a trigger on it yet. Maybe Levy's going to pull something out of the onion bag as soon as the season ends. But I have got zero faith that that's the case. I think they've just been caught on the hop, and they're hiding behind the whole director of football is in deep legal issues. And the fact that the club actually released anything saying that, we've been caught cold by this and we're really shocked with this. No one's shocked by this. They might not have known that he had copped the case before they hired him, which I'm not sure about, by the way. But the minute that those allegations were being investigated, everyone knew that this was in danger of happening as well. So the whole thing is just a huge catalogue of errors. And we're just talking about in the last few months. We're not even going, back to what happened to the last 2 managers or the last 3 managers or the last 10 managers before that. So it just beggars belief. And the thing I just cannot understand for the life of me is everyone talks about, the top 4's this, the top 4's that, and we're desperate for top 4 money. And I talk about the fact that not finishing top 4 is like a relegation for Spurs because of the difference in the TV money to our business model. Not that I give 2 whatevers about a business model. I support a football club, right? There shouldn't be a business division and a football division. It's the name on the side of the tin, i.e. the stadium, is Tottenham.
The problem is it's not on the tin, Phil. The name isn't on the side of the tin.
It is somewhere. I know it's not on the trade. It's not the trading name, Ben, anymore. There's 50 million companies.
If you look on that stadium, there isn't a single pronoun Tottenham Hotspur Football Club written on that stadium. I don't know if any of you have done it. If you walk round 365 degrees around that stadium, it doesn't say Tottenham Hotspur Football Club on that stadium once. even the cockerel is grey, so you
It's
can't.
grey. Yeah, it's very hard to see. I noticed that because
only if you're looking
we went
at
looking
it,
for
you
it.
see
Yeah,
it. It does not say Tottenham Hotspur Football Club on the tin once.
Man, what are you talking about? It's Beyonce at the Tottenham Hotspur Football Stadium. I don't know what you're saying, man. You've lost it, mate.
and that's where I disagree
look at
with
your
what
electronic.
you said, Jake.
Look at your electronic, mail for your, the confirmation for your 5 tickets to Beyonce, and you'll soon find out.
That's why
Listen.
I disagree with what you said, Phil, about everything's a failure. Like you said, the acoustics are amazing.
The acoustics are amazing.
Well, even the good thing. Oh, go ahead, Kuva.
I had an electronic mail once, but he ditched me for a toaster.
Yeah. But in the Kuva said,
both were very hot, Kuva. You and the toaster were both very hot.
Yeah. Kuva said on Bob's Breakfast Show earlier, Conte was not sacked because of the poor performances on the pitch. Conte was sacked because he questioned Levy, and he said they've had this owner for 23 years, and what have they won? Nothing.
Carling Cup.
Conte was not sacked because of the football side, which is why they've left Stellini in charge. If they were sacked because of footballing reasons, they all would have
Spot on, Alan.
They all would have gone. Big up 10 inch. Especially if they're 10 inches. Then you will definitely notice a cock.
I just love that we got a big golden one on the top of that shiny stadium. You can walk right up to it if you pay the right price. That's just kind of nice. It's really like whenever you go hunting and you kill an animal and then you cut them open and you like let all the stuff come out and then you cut them open, and you gut it. And then you say, here's some of the guts of this thing, and you can pay and you can get some guts of a very prestigious club that once was very popular for being, I believe, the first to win a European, first England team to win a European Cup. And, we were
trophy, not the European Cup. The first British team to win a European Cup was Celtic. But first British team to win a European trophy, which is the Cup Winners' Cup.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, see, you get me with the shenanigans. What is? I mean, UK to me, it's all UK, it's all England, it's all Wales, it's all Ireland, it's all the same. This is how they teach you here in America. If we didn't conquer it, it doesn't really matter, and they don't teach you about it. So you got to really Google Maps, since that's become a thing on the internet, has been a good friend of me. But there's no one like teaching me anything. I'm just scrolling around looking like, oh, look at that. There's London in an island. It took me a while to realize y'all were on an island. I didn't even know that.
I want to give a big shout out to my boy Dwayne in South Carolina. Back in the day, I worked at a beachwear stall with Dwayne. And when it was time to go back after our little summer work stint there in South Carolina, shout out Myrtle Beach, Dwayne actually asked me and my boys, were we going to drive back to London or wherever we were from? And I said, mate, unless there's been a serious frost in the North Atlantic, we cannot drive back.
Yeah, you could drive an amphicar.
And that's just a beautiful example of the education system we have here.
But they just, to be fair, there's so much to learn about America, Jacob, to be fair. That's why they teach only America. And I can understand that.
They don't even teach you the truth.
I'm not trying to jack shit about Canada. He honestly believed we all live in igloos. Honestly believe that.
Big up.
You do know don't live in an igloo, right, Jacob?
You don't live in an igloo, Bobby?
No, I don't.
I thought you just had one of those really big ones.
I'm Indian, dude.
But you're in Canada.
I
thought the roads were just ice, and technically you sledded everywhere. That's what I thought y'all did.
Yeah, that's
sledded or slayed.
BobbyK must have given me something really strange at the airport, because I thought that was exactly what Canada was.
Jacob just thought your life is one big episode of Ice Road Truckers.
Yeah, and you're like on your way home.
On the bus, baby. Hold on, folks. Here we go.
But I thought like legally, you're per house you get 4 or 5 maple trees and those little spouts that they come that it comes out of. Did you get 5 of those per member of your household?
All the houses have maple trees planted on them before they're even built. They build the houses around the trees, and then what it is every time you have a newborn baby, they give you a maple tree spout with the baby.
Oh, that's nice. That's just see here in Texas, you don't get nothing. You just get a spanking on the butt. And I said, there you go. Giddy up. Cody Mack lives in an igloo.
Actually, yeah, you
Big
know
up
what?
Cody Mack.
Lisa, you might be right because he lives way further north than I do, and they get a lot more snow than what we get here.
I did think snowmobiles were a bigger
No, we
part of
don't.
the Canadian culture, but I don't think that's true. Okay. I guess when I really think about it, it's much like people saying everyone in Texas rides a horse. It's just not true. I've actually only ridden a horse.
Texas, you have to wear one of these by law.
Yep,
fact, right?
that's
You
true.
have to wear
Certain
a
parts of Texas, yeah.
You have to wear a Stetson by law.
I actually did get bullied by some bouncers at this country bar we were at one time in my early 20s. Real quick little anecdote. So I don't dress like a cowboy. I've never owned a pair of cowboy boots except when I was a child and my mom had me some. I've had maybe one cowboy hat that was gifted at like a game that I went to. So like a joke cowboy hat. So I've never really like been like you're texting what you think when you tell you're texting, you know what I mean? And so I'm at this like really Texan bar that's really famous for Willie Nelson. Oh, Jean-Pierre. Oh, oui, oui.
In the sports, you have to wear one of these. It is fun.
I love that you go off camera and you come back and you have some different headgear for us.
Yeah. Right.
I'm at this bar and it's in Fort Worth, Texas, and it's famous. Willie Nelson plays there all the time, like every other weekend he's there. And it's called Billy Bob's. There it is, Billy Bob's. Oh, look at that.
I don't have many options here.
Le Fantastique.
I can't put it on over my headset, but here's mine. There you go. There you go.
Right. It looks actually quite good on stream. I'm going to wear this more often.
And look, it does look nice.
Unique.
Maybe we just carry on the whole show like this. I think Bobby went to go get something for his head as well. There we go. So I'm at this Texas bar. These bouncers, they like one. I didn't realize that the bouncers were dressed like cowboys. So this cowboy, I mean, I'm at the bar and he's like, I turn around, he's right behind me, and I'm like, oh, okay, hey, you know, I'm just waiting in line to get a drink, and he was just like, it's weird that someone like you would come here, you know. And I was like, what do you mean someone like me would come here? He's like, you don't really seem like the Billy Bob's kind of guy. And I was like, he's kind of short, so I was like, you don't really seem like the over 6 foot kind of guy, but here you are talking to me. And he's like, and then he got all mad because when you call a short person short, they get really fucking pissed over here in the States. I don't know if it's like that everywhere in the world, but they get real mad about that. So then he starts talking a little funny. I had a few drinks in me and I was feeling a little frisky, so I said, let's dance. And then like 3 more people dressed just exactly like him, same button up, little bolo tie and everything, dressed exactly like him. 3 more show up, and then they all just start beating my ass. And I was like, wow, this is great. He has all his homies dressed like cowboys. They go around kicking people, and then they threw me out of the bar. And yeah, I was like, wow, what did I do to deserve this? And then someone was like, bro, those are the bouncers. You can't just go fighting the bouncers. And I tried to explain that this little one was talking trash and I was just talking trash back. And then he got mad. So like, let's dance. And I don't know, maybe it's my fault because I slightly instigated it. Because I did like stand over him and I was
Well,
like,
how could you have instigated it by saying to the guy, you want to dance? Let's go. I don't get
He
that.
thought it was Ben Davis.
Yeah.
Again, that's a good reminder. Every stream I have been trying to remind everyone. Ben Davies, Eric Dyer, fuck both of you. Fight me. 2v1. I'll send you my address. You fly me over to London with your big salary that you got. Fly me on over. You and Ben Davies. I'm talking to Eric Dyer specifically. You and your friend Ben Davies come fight me. All right? 2v1. 2 professional athletes versus stay-at-home dad. Surely the odds are in your favor. The invitation is always open. I'm going to put it that way. Maybe I should get a little like a piggy bank or something. Put $1 a day. And if y'all don't fly me out in a couple years to fight, I'll fly out in a couple years and I'll fight your ass myself.
You should just make a video, a short for TikTok or something like that, challenge into a fight. I bet you that shit will go viral.
See if it goes viral. That's actually a really good idea. Maybe I should just cut.
I'm Jacob from Spurs of America. By the way, here's a YouTube link. Feel free to subscribe and like, and make sure.
I did make a TikTok account, so I could do that. I could do that. Yeah. I mean, that's actually a really good idea because he might actually see that.
Yeah.
Ben's absolutely right about Texas. I lived there a couple of years. I swear it's its own country. They tried to be a few times. Texas has tried to secede quite the many times. Everyone took their hats off, and now I just feel silly.
I've got my
Kuva,
hat.
where did the big sombrero
owning
go?
it.
You look sexy to me.
Where's
Every
your
king
sombrero,
needs a
Kuva?
crown.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
sombrero on.
My head starts cooking after about a minute of wearing it.
Oh, that's fair. Kuva looks like the guy on the Tapatio bottle. I love Tapatio. Top 3 hot sauces of all time. Shout out to Tapatio, dude.
Do I have any different hats?
Casual.
Just a bit.
Jacob got thrown out by bouncers after beating it. Yeah. Fuck those guys at Billy Bob's, man. Yeah, Viva Mexico. Oh, you have it? Yeah, they sell it like on the bridge here in El Paso to Mexico. There's always like handmade stuff like that. And I guess some of that. Remember the Alamo? Never forget the Alamo. Of course we remember the Alamo. Davy Crockett with his damn, what was it? What is that hat called when it's a raccoon on your head?
Raccoon hat?
Yeah, I think that's it. That's it.
Yeah,
Remember that thing too. Remember that is
Why do we
actually
call it
that's a
Davy
pretty
Crockett
sick
hat?
hat. Davy Crockett, yeah, the old Crockett. That's actually a really cool hat, Ben. I'm pretty impressed. If anyone gets a hat award, it's you for today, especially.
That's how Ben gets to the games. He commutes using that hat.
Oh man. Where was I?
Jacob, the worry is you've got 3.5 years potentially, if rumours of this new contract are true, to save up to come and beat the tar.
We could sort that.
Eric
Maybe
Dyer.
start like a GoFundMe to go kick Eric Dyer's ass. Hopefully we sign Ben Davies to an extension so I can fly over there and get both of them.
Look, I don't mean to break your heart, but I'd much rather not give them any new contracts. And then you miss your chance to beat them up.
Oh, that's not
Sorry,
fair.
man. That's just,
You better make that short, buddy, quick. You better do it tonight. As soon as this show's done, you better post that short.
Well, now you want me to do extra work, and like anytime there's extra work involved in
15-second video. Dyer, fuck you. Davies, fuck you. I'll fight you. Fly me over. Boom. Done.
Not a bad shout. Okay, now you're mid 2000s hip hop, Ben. All right.
Nice boy, the boys in the hood now.
Well, Alcatraz Island. Big up.
Oh, there you go. Now you just look like a regular dude from Dallas.
Kuva, The Rock is a good film.
I went there.
It is a good film. I must admit. Yeah.
I got this.
And The Rock as well as an actor. Yeah. Dwayne Johnson. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, Kuva, you could do a retrospective of Michael Bean films.
It's Peritici.
Ooh.
Big of us. Oh, it's a jailbird. Yeah, that's definitely. Well, see, my thing is, I don't know if Peritici going to jail would be the worst thing. He would have 24 hours sitting in a room. Hopefully, if he gets internet access and a phone access, just do your job, work from home. We've worked through a pandemic. We know what it looks like to work from home. If I'm not even going to give, I used to put a little meatball marinara in his voice because I was just hopeful he would do something for his club. But I'm just calling Peritici because you know what? That's what he is to me. And he just dry chicken. I just boiled you chicken, not even seasoned it. Peritici.
No seasoning.
But you can work from home doing his job. All he does is like listen to iTunes and make phone calls. That's got to be real easy to do from the insides of a cell, no?
Should be. You'd figure.
So I don't think we need to fire him. Scott Munn, he's going to come in and do nothing. Maybe help smuggle in a phone or something. Maybe he's got a big bum and he can smuggle the phone in real easily.
Scott M is going to do what he usually does, which is get really angry in the Spurs YouTube comment section.
No, Scott Munn, not Scott M.
Scott M is in charge.
Same guy, isn't it?
Same guy.
Same guy.
Absolutely the same one.
It's the same guy.
Must be.
Do we know
Canadian,
this? Actually, I haven't heard from Scott in some time, so maybe he has been busy getting a new job.
Has anybody seen them on screen at the same time? No.
Nope. They're both white. They both wear glasses. It's got to be the same guy.
Both short hair.
Same geezer.
Same geezer.
There's no way there's more than one guy in the world named Scott. Let's face it, guys.
Fact.
Stewart being slightly optimistic about the Dyer contract says that just means he'll go for $3 million instead of $2 million. I think we need to give him the Doherty treatment, but a little bit more rough. what do y'all think? Should we just rip his contract up, or should we
I think
reward
we
him
need
with
to give him-
so he
I
could just
think we
go
need to
laughing every fucking summer about the fact Spurs don't win anything, and he can just be like, "Oh yeah, it was great how we didn't get to a final that year. I was captain on that game when we lost to one of them shitty Conference League teams. I'm pretty sure he was captain.
I'd prefer to put him in an octagon with Cain Velasquez, but I don't think I'm ever going to get that wish. But
An octagon with Jacob.
nah,
I'm not you might see, that's my thing, is you might be able to entice him because I'm not a professional athlete. If you say, hey, a freaking UFC Hall of Famer, you're gonna fight that guy. He's, Eric Dyer, he's gonna treat that like he's defending Iheanacho. He's just gonna stand there and possibly move out of the way if you approach him. So he's like a cat, you can't be too aggressive. You gotta say, look, pss, 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 over here, and then lure him in with the fact that I'm a stay-at-home dad, not a professional athlete. Plus, you get your other little butt buddy that you've been here long as hell, racking up checks. Professional athletes, surely you should be able to beat me. That's just an ongoing offer that will always stand. Even if I like lose a leg or something in the war. I'm not enlisted or anything, but if there's a war or something and I lose my leg, I will still fight Eric Dyer and Harry Winks. You could throw him in there too. I don't get. That's not even like adding a 3v1. That's like a problem for them because he's just going to make things more complicated and really get in their way. And just, I've actually.
All right, one second.
Jacob,
Pause for 1 second. Jacob, just make yourself full screen and just screen record this right now. This could be your challenge. Boom, TikTok video and your show continues. Done. 2 things in one. You saved yourself time. Sorry.
No, I think we should go for that.
Well, see, I want to type a script. I want to have a script so I'm not like just spitting off the top of my dome like I do for these shows. Then maybe it could be a little bit
this
more
isn't scripted.
Hold on, let me check the line.
Yeah,
Line says, yes, Phil, it is scripted.
Boom.
Boom. Don't worry, Dyer's already chatting with Levy to see if he can get the best mate Deli back. That'll be fun. Maybe they can have a balloon room where Deli can be the director of the balloon room at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. You go get some beer, get some cheese, get yourself a balloon full of whatever Deli Alley was.
Did anyone else hear this? Someone, I'm sure Henry said on one of his shows he was on earlier that some people are saying that we should get Deli back. What?
Yeah.
I mean, is that a thing?
Why not?
Has that happened?
Yeah, it's probably Levy saying it.
He's free. Why not?
Mate, I'm free. It doesn't mean I should be playing association football for the men's first team at Tottenham Hotspur.
It does to Levy.
I'll get a new Spurs shirt if I had Phil P on the back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think he uses the fact that Southgate picks him sometimes? That he's like, look, Southgate likes me a little bit, so therefore sign me up to a new contract. How does he steal a living like this? And what did I do so wrong in my life to not just be a shitty average footballer earning a great wage at a beautiful stadium, greatest training facilities, etc., etc.? Where did I go wrong?
Yeah, but Jacob, knowing a little bit about how like youth teams sort of work and how it all goes together, it's just a series of unfortunate events, as the the title of the book goes. It's just someone.
I love that series of books, by the way.
Yeah, someone gave the guy a chance. God bless him and God bless them. And then the guy speaks 2 languages.
No, fight me.
Then,
they're included in the offer. Those people who let him come through the academy.
Some people just end it's just a series of bad decisions by people who aren't around anymore, and then you end up like, what happened? This guy's played X amount of games. Who was it? Someone said, "Oh Jesus." Not bearing in mind, I said I felt bad for Sanchez the other day. Yeah, everyone. Hope you're sitting comfortably. Listen to this. Davinson Sanchez has played more times for Tottenham Hotspur than Paul Gascoigne.
Yeah.
Paul Gascoigne. Davinson Sanchez has played more games for our first team.
Which just goes to show Paul Gascoigne wasn't all that good, really, was it?
Clearly.
Yeah. Well,
it's all about numbers, Kuva. It's all about numbers, isn't it?
Stats prove it.
Brian Dave is now going to be on the first train down to Dorchester, and he's going to be kicking your door down in 3, 2, 1. I can imagine the door coming flying behind Kuva, like bang. Right.
Yeah, Paul Gascoigne, what did he win with us? FA Cup. That's hardly a fourth place finish, is it?
Yeah.
But listen, Kuva Gascoigne was so good that he got injured in the first few minutes, and his residual energy still won us the FA Cup. No, listen, you've got to say, and some people did tweet this last week. You know, obviously, Gaza gets all the plaudits for the 14th of April and the anniversary the other day of us beating the Scum 3-1. For those of you that are old enough to remember the great song, but
I wasn't born, mate. I don't remember it.
I know. Lineker, Lineker's goal. And to be fair, Samways, I mentioned him earlier, and my booing of him, his, using him by not using him. It was a beautiful day in the park in Wembley. So, yeah. Special things can happen. Special things can happen when, there's team spirit and people fall in behind a great player. But look, we did assemble somewhat of a team behind Gaza, and we have not done anything like that behind Harry Kane, unfortunately. But there you go.
Mark Cousins says Gary Mabbitt won us the FA Cup.
Boom.
Sure.
Big up Nick Barry Collison. Look at these sexy mofos and BobbyK.
Hey, Nick. Haters gonna hate Phil. Don't worry about it.
So
don't ever upset the bus driver. That's what I learned from my commutes home.
It's okay. My buddies Y and Owen say hi, Nick.
Yeah.
Were those kids bullying him on your show the other day?
That's great.
That was funny.
See, that should be the modern day version of an old classic. You had a taxi driver movie. Just have bus driver. Just more up to date and BobbyK and that.
You're talking to me.
I can see that nice noir.
Are you looking at me?
Yeah.
What did you say? Hey, that's racist.
Casual though.
You don't see me sitting here trying to sound like you people.
I don't know. When someone reports it, if they report it on YouTube, I don't know if there's like a selection of like racism. Well, was it casual?
More xenophobic.
Instead of going like full British, he goes like really old school American, not moving his mouth. It's like, "Well, can I help you?" You need to work on your Cockney accent, mate. You need to work on a bit of Cockney. You need to spend
God.
Yeah,
so my English accent's horrible, man.
And Mr. Phil P. Woo in South Woodford.
Because
that's where all the Cockneys live now.
Exactly. Proper.
Yeah,
I've got a question to slightly move the conversation in a different direction. Wait, let me check the poll real quick before I do that. No one voted for the pivot.
The way that worked out. Yeah, let me check the poll first. That's all.
The poll.
Dude, I'm just saying. That's all we said. You're the one that's worried about this stuff. So just letting you know for next time.
I'm not worried about it. No one has said Premier League roundup, so no one gives a shit about Arsenal getting two draws on the bounce.
I do want to say one thing about this. A few gooners have been bantering us, obviously, because it's a rich.
Yeah, they've been shitting on us all season. Yeah,
of course, and they're welcome to it. But particularly about the go-karting. And, I just open invitation. Any gooners that want to come and have a go-kart race, against the Spurs boys, that would be great. But I'm really worried that it could kill a spectator because the wheels always come off the gooners around this time of the season. So I don't know what's going to happen. To be fair, it's a bit early for their wheels to be coming off because usually, my favourite dessert is Arsenal crumble, and that's a May dessert, isn't it? May every year you eat Arsenal crumble.
I will say about that, a lot of Arsenal fans have been in their little YouTube communities, and a lot of Spurs fans have been saying as well, if Arsenal don't win the league, they haven't bottled it. When Tottenham do anything in a big game, the first people to be in our faces is Arsenal fans. The first thing they do when Chelsea don't win something are Arsenal fans, or when Man United don't win something, the first people in their faces are Arsenal fans. So I think we can unite the entirety of the world of football when Arsenal eventually bottle it, because that's what they're doing at the moment.
Absolutely
everybody was a
grade A
City fan.
raging bottle jobs, aren't they? We had that famous 2-2 draw at Chelsea, and he said that was
First
us
people
bottling
there.
it.
Arsenal
We were never winning that title race. We weren't ahead of Leicester that season.
We never hit the front.
Exactly. So Arsenal are literally throwing it away from pole position.
Yeah.
This is prime bottle job stuff. Legendary bottle job stuff.
Missing penalties. Missing penalties. If Arsenal don't win the league now, if it was any other club, you'd say their squad just isn't quite good enough. If they get a couple more reinforcements, they'll be better next year. Because it's Arsenal and the way their fans are just the most arrogant people alive. Even back to my days at school when we had we had Luka Modric, and you go to your Arsenal supporting friend and you say, Luka Modric is that he'd say, oh, Rosicky is crap. And they'd be like, oh, he's better than all your players.
What's that?
When you've got Luka Modric, Van der Vaart, and Gareth Bale. It's like,
15 minutes.
like, Arsenal fans they are the most arrogant fans on the planet. They make Chelsea fans look humble. That's how much Arsenal. But I actually quite like a lot of Chelsea fans at the moment because they're back to where Chelsea were pre-2004. It's brilliant.
Kerry Dixon settings.
If we and the Chelsea boys, we can all unite together. Let's put aside our differences and let's just banter those Woolwich arseholes. And the moment they bottle the league, let's all be at their doorsteps and say, bottle jobs. Because that is exactly what they've been doing to us, whilst they've been absolutely mediocre for the last 15 years since they've done anything decent.
Well said, Ben. Well said, Ben. Phil, I think
You're
your
muted,
mic,
Phil.
Yeah, your mic's like unplugged or something. I heard it like unplugged.
Levy's coming for me.
Yeah, he found you. He found you now.
To be fair, Lee Gunner of a few Arsenal streams and his own channel, God bless him, has been saying the same. He's basically saying that, you know, a lot of gooners can't face up to the fact and haven't got the right mentality to actually say they've got to be winning it from where they are. And if they don't, they are bottle jobs. Exactly as you've said, Ben. You know, if Spurs can get untold ribbing ever since 2016 for finishing third in a 3-horse race, and to be finishing third in a 3-horse race sounds almost okay. But that sounds fine. We finished last. Awesome.
We did it.
We did it. We finished the season.
Yay!
Yay! We didn't die on Beecher's Brook. We're fine. We didn't throw our rider, but the thing is, though, what I think people fail to understand about football is it is all one big peeing contest, and it's all just banter, and it's all just tribal. So, you know, if someone misses a penalty or someone stubs their toe or someone's manager goes to prison for a bung, you know, whatever it is, you're going to get banter for it. And, you know, if you put your neck out on the line, particularly, you know, all you guys in your channels and stuff, you've got to expect that you're going to get some stick when Spurs are bad. And we're obviously always very, very bad over the last few years. Yeah. So if we, you know, I know Savra is a big proponent of this. You know, you don't we're not in any position to be giving teams stick because we never win anything. So just because maybe Chelsea are having a downturn or whatever, but my take on it is the point of elite sport is winning, right? And I know the way the games fall is important and this, that, and the other. And Man City are an elite team. Whatever you think about the morality of how they've assembled that or what else goes on, they are a phenomenal football team. But if you are 11 points ahead of another team and you don't win that competition, or whenever it was, 3 weeks ago, you deserve to get some shit. And you are going to get that shit. And especially when they're the least humble set of individuals I've ever met in my life. and that's saying something because I'm a Spurs season ticket holder.
But
Well, it's like Kuva said, this would be legendary. Sorry, Ben.
A lot of people, only with Arsenal do they change that narrative. Anytime you've got the points over the games in hand, you always say, I'd rather have the points than the games in hand.
But if the points are like 3 draws, I'd rather have the chance for 9 points than 3 points, is my opinion.
But if you've got 11 points and City have got 3 games in hand, you've still got 11 points ahead. You've got the points. It doesn't.
But it's City, though, right? It's
no,
City.
But still, you don't win every game. It is the Barclays Premier League.
Fair. No, you're right. I
also,
do agree
Jacob,
with that.
This is the point. If
we beat Man City, for God's sake.
But we're like one of the only ones who do that.
Any team can beat any team on any given day.
I agree with that. Yeah, especially if you're playing Tottenham.
But Jacob, the other thing is, like I say to my kids all the time, and I didn't make this up. It's out there. But if you say you can, or if you say you can't, normally you're right. If you believe in what you're trying to do, and you go for it, in elite sport especially, the minute you show weakness, you are dead in the water.
Almost like self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the last team you want to give any breath of life to is Man City. Obviously, we know that. They are, like Big Steve said, they're like a basking shark, aren't they? That big blue shark is circling the waters around Woolwich, right?
There's a little blood in the water now, especially with 2 draws, and that's what I think excites me a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, they're going to
shark because they're
you're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah. Well, luckily we're not the boat that's getting attacked by Jaws at this current moment.
Mate, listen, I'm on loan to Man City until the end of the season anyway, so big up Man City. Do you know what I mean?
We're all, yeah, I've been saying, come on, City. For
Eddie Sheringham is.
How long has Arsenal been at the top?
I don't care.
Nah, because I have no idea.
Can we finally let this terrible football conversation in the bed and start talking about real stuff? Hashtag turn off you Spurs, or however you're doing it.
Spurs. It was like a YMCA almost.
Yeah. Turn off you. I don't know how to do an S. Whatever.
Just like when Newcastle blew an 11-point lead.
I'll show you later. The Kama Sutra move.
Yeah. United Spurs of enchiladas wants to talk about something decent, which is enchiladas. And...
Well, because my next topic after Arsenal was Oliver Skip, so does that count?
As... go on. Since Phil is here and he did want to talk Spurs, I've got a serious question for him. That is the last game. Danjuma, he scored an absolute banger, didn't he? So, what would you say is the best thing to go with bangers? Is it mash, gravy, peas, and carrots, or are you sort of it's egg and chips?
What are bangers?
Sausages.
Yeah,
like bangers and mash.
Really cheap sausages. That bangers is the term for a sausage that bangs in the frying pan because it's filled with rusk and water. So hence why they banged. So
when you're
you mean when they crackle?
Bang, bang.
Yeah, it's not a bang.
Now that you guys have said that,
let's not drop many bombs because bang over here is. I mean, I'm talking about grenade. I'm talking about thunder on a tin.
You got to watch
roof.
more Pornhub then, buddy. Bang means something different. But this obviously goes back to
but that links to sausages as well.
There you go. And there's links in sausages. Wow, that's a double there, Philly. But it kind of goes back to the morning show now, talking about underrated movies. You clearly got to watch King Ralph. John Goodman, legendary.
Or get him to the Greek has got the musical
Russell
Brand. Yeah, he sings his character in it. All the Snow, is it?
That's right. Yeah.
I love you for your bangers and mash, doesn't he?
Big up, Jacob.
Right. So watch it, Jacob. Do your homework before these shows. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, in answer to your question,
it's supposed to be
it depends what mood I'm in. But weirdly, I had bangers and chips with some veg for the meal this evening.
Whoa, veg.
But that was absolutely wonderful.
Carrot
and veg beans?
No, carrot and peas with bangers and chips.
Any sauce?
I'm sorry. I'm like taking a step back and I'm thinking about what you just said.
On there.
Phil, I'm taking a step back and I'm thinking about what you just said to me. And if y'all didn't give me that explanation, I'd be like, what the hell did this? I know you're speaking English, but what the hell did you just say? Because I'll have me a skilly of bangers and mash and peas and chips and carrots and flips and
I still feel that way when I hear American phrases like, you know, a hoagie. I have no idea what
a hoagie sandwich, bro. A hoagie.
Yeah,
you don't know what a hoagie
in your
is?
coop.
You got a
gotta
hoagie,
get
you got a hoe down, you got a hoot nanny. Those are not to be confused with each other because they're all three separate things.
Hootenanny, I know what hootenanny is because I listen to country music.
Yeah, so you know about a hoe down too then.
But,
I think you all need to get Jacob some spotted dick.
Yeah. Or a toad in a hole, mate.
Don't know what you said to me there, Bobby.
You'd love spotted dick.
Is that a guy named Richard who has
Not just regular
alopecia?
dick, man. It's spotted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toad in the hole is excellent.
It's a dessert, Jacob, in England.
Yeah, if I saw that on the menu, I'd say,
Yeah.
something's wrong with this place. We gotta go, guys. Something's wrong with it.
Unless you're at a Scandinavian restaurant, which as a delicacy in Scandinavia is shark's penis.
Really,
Shark
such a
Parter,
strange.
I wouldn't really say it's a popular one, to be fair.
It's a delicacy.
Black pudding. I mean, are you talking about chia seed pudding? We have that everywhere because everyone's all like vegan and foofy out here.
No, it's the opposite of
He
vegan.
needs black pudding with
Like blood
with
sausage.
Yeah.
Oh God, no! What are you talking about? I
do
love
definitely
meat,
have
but
it.
when you say blood sausage, that doesn't make me feel good inside.
It's got onions as well. Just
Oh, it
for
makes
that.
me feel
No,
good.
it's sausage from gangbangers.
Yeah.
What up, blood?
What are we talking about? I'm so confused.
I am a big fan of a greasy spoon that's round the corner from me. Phil, we need to go there because it's near enough to both of us. It's called Grilotti's, and I have a G5, which is 2 bacon, 2 sausage, beans, an egg if you're choosing, and fried bread, because fried bread is the greatest thing ever.
Can I just say, because Mark has put it in the comments as well about fried bread,
Yeah.
I think it's a dying art. Not many places now, unless a proper greasy spoon calf, will do fried bread. So, you know, you got to keep the dream
Fried
alive.
bread.
You
is
know
the
what? I used to
greatest.
make it here all the time. I haven't made it in ages now that you brought
Fried
it.
bread is like, you think toast
Bring it
is-
back, yo.
You think toast is a good accompaniment
Tomorrow's
for your
breakfast, baby.
But
Guys, we're having fried bread tomorrow.
toast goes soggy when you're having your beans and your whatever sauce you're coming with. I don't know if you're a red sauce or a brown sauce guy with your fried breakfast, but a bit of fried bread soaks up the juice of the beans and the tomato
Why does the bread have to be fried though?
because
Makes
it's
it
just
awesome.
Just because the NHS is on its knees, so if you don't have enough cholesterol, you'll live longer.
It's because it's the morning and you're still hungover.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you need.
See, that's
Oh, Phil, you
places like
legend.
Whataburger. If you ever come to the South, you have to go to Whataburger. It's orange and it's a big W. You can't miss it. And they're not technically fast food because they don't start cooking your meal till you order it. But they do have drive-thrus and shit that take forever. But the best burger in the South you could ever get from Whataburger. Okay, I don't remember what I was. There was a point I was about to make about Whataburger.
And are chips allowed on a fried breakfast? I don't think so.
I think they are.
I think
Chips
you can
as
have
in
them-
French fries.
Yeah, I think you
on
can have them at a
breakfast?
side. It's a sort
But
of
see, here's the
optional
thing.
extra.
We don't do
browns,
chips,
like
but
that.
hash browns. Yeah, and that's basically the
Hash
same
browns
thing,
are so
more or
much better.
less.
Wave and go away.
Hash browns are definitely a breakfast thing. Like if you go to a breakfast place and you order like a sampler,
Yeah. We're gonna have to take little case of greasy.
hey, that's the smarter of your 2 children, Bobby. Your other one likes Dyer a lot, and
Yeah.
I hope he gets to see me fucking
You don't,
just.
you don't hear me saying nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a smile on my face the whole time.
He's here, but I'm not unplugging this so he can
Nah.
hear what you're saying.
Well, no. Oh my god.
Because
Big up.
because with all fried breakfast now, you get a mug of tea in it. But do you have a soft drink as well, just to wash it down? 'Cause
In the morning,
Yeah, I think a Vimto is a very good accompaniment to a fried
the people who
breakfast.
do that in America are diabetic.
Yeah,
Listen,
that's
I'm
how-
just going to throw this out there. Personally, I would have a hot chocolate But if you're going really in
Thanks,
on a
Phil.
proper fried breakfast, my pleasure, baby.
That's my
You've
big thing.
also got to have a chocolate milkshake. You've got to go Yazoo as
Oh,
well.
yes, that's a good idea as well. Would you?
Double chocolate, Bobby. Double
No,
chocolate.
see, ideally for me,
I
the
got you,
milkshake
baby.
would be made with ice cream and bananas.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it would.
That
There's
really
a place
gets-
called Steak and Shake. I don't know where it is everywhere in America, but they got it here in Texas. Literally, they make like the best milkshake, and it goes perfect with the burger. It's amazing.
I've just got
Yes,
to book my
so
flight. I'm just booking my flight now.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it looks like
there's
one of
so
those
many
old
food
burger
options,
joints, like the
man.
50s. It has like the 50s style burger joint, feel
It
like
has
checkered
crinkle cut
floors.
fries
And,
as well. Steak and Shake, crinkle cut fries.
Mhm,
Yeah, America's
that's
the
right.
best for food, man. You
Ben
got
is
wicked
very
food
well
options.
traveled and very well. Like every time I speak to you,
Dude,
there's somewhere else you've
Skinny, it's
had that I
amazing
had
a
no
guy knows
idea
this
you've
much about
had.
food.
What?
He's so skinny. It's amazing he knows this much about food.
Yeah.
One of
never
my
meet him
older
in person,
brothers, one of my older brothers is like that. Like super, he could eat Whataburger every day for months and wouldn't gain a pound.
Nothing.
He'd probably lose weight because he's only eating one Whataburger. And
I need to preface this point that Adrian Schroeder is, but in the US, a pigs in a blanket is a sausage roll.
No, they're called pig and blankets. They're
Pig
called
in
pig.
blanket in the UK is sausage wrapped in bacon. In the States, it isn't.
Oh, no,
And
no.
this-
cocktail sausage
Yeah, here
usually.
it's not either.
And
It's
the-
like basically in a pastry.
Yeah, it's like a little
That's
like
wrong. Pig in
croissant
blanket
that they stuff a wiener in.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Pig in blanket in the
That's a
UK
pig in
is
a
a sausage
blanket.
wrapped in bacon. Which
Okay,
is just far better.
yeah, definitely, I agree with that.
Because how can you make
Anything
pork
with wrapped in
more
bacon is
pork?
better than in something else.
Right.
But see, if you
listen,
go to the right place, they'll put bacon around the little sausage and then put that in the croissant.
this sounds like my honeymoon. Now, listen,
Oh,
I want to ask a question back to Kuva. Would you rather like a traditional Greg's sausage roll, a homemade sausage roll, or a hot dog lattice? Where would you go? Have you ever had a hot dog lattice?
I haven't had a hot dog lattice. Sounds interesting, but I'm still going to say Greg's is your boy.
You're from the South, Kuva, and you've got something just as good, if not better than Greg's. You've got Malcolm Barney Cat.
Never heard of one.
That's a very Cornwall, Dorset staple. Malcolm Barney Cat with the red and white check-in. Google
Never heard of it. Really, never heard of it.
They're really
Alan
good.
Sibley says he's got to go real quick. I do want to say big up, Alan Sibley. Thank you so
Big
much
up,
for the super
Alan.
chat. You have super chatted 2 times in a row. Big up yourself. And then you also are there on the Patreon as well. So can't think of a bigger supporter
Alan
of
goes a
United
long
Spurs
way.
of America since the
Good
very
man,
beginning.
good man.
Big up, man. Hope you have a good night. Thanks for tuning in and unmundaning your Monday evening. Bobby,
Sorry,
you said you got to
massive.
go real quick. Do you want to
Yeah,
plug
I
your
gotta
stuff
feed
before
these
I let
guys,
you
man.
go?
You know what? You
When
guys
you
are gonna crack on, and Coos will probably get it covered, so no need to double up on it. I'll let him do all that stuff. 3 Spurs boys.
A lot
you
of
know
pressure
where we're
there,
at.
Coov.
So they're in the
Yeah,
top.
it's all right there. Coos always does it, man. I got full faith in the man. So always great to see you guys. Phil, good to be on with you again. Ben, Coos, my usual homies in the community. Great
There
to
it
see you.
is.
Jacob, thanks for having me on, buddy. Big love. Make
Of
sure
course,
everybody
man.
in here.
Thanks
Make sure
for
you hit that
making it.
love. Make sure you hit that sub.
Hit
Make
that
sure you
love.
hit that
Hit
like.
that
and,
love.
join that membership, man. It ain't much. It ain't much. It's less than a cup of coffee a month, man. Give Jacob
Yeah.
some love, man. Support the channel.
Yeah, come on. And then once
See
we
you
get
guys
8
there.
people who sign up as channel members, it'll show up on the YouTube page. It'll say thank you to our channel members. And they said you only have 1 member, you're a loser. We're not going to put you on blast
So
like that.
should
We're
I
trying to
cancel-
put
Jacob,
And it's
should
Ben.
Jacob, should I cancel that Patreon membership and join the YouTube one then instead?
you can
Just double
can
up, Bobby.
I'm going to keep both of them
Money the
up
problem.
just because I don't want
I don't know
people
which one's
switching.
which.
It's just it might be easier for people. I would say the only reason to switch is if you want the little thing on your name in the chat if you're in the chat here. But I mean, I don't really think
anyway, so I'm good.
yeah, you're already a moderator, so you're good. Ben's got moderator and the United Spurs of America logo, which I did put some cool little
That's not
logos.
fair.
So like once you hit 2 months and 6 months and a year, you'll get like different little icons and stuff. So
fair.
that stuff's kind of fun. I wish I could do that for the Patreon
I'm
members.
changing.
So. You're going to change. It's I named the clubs the same, so
Probably
you
was screwed up. Don't worry.
you can
buddy.
still be a part of the Lovers Lane, or you might sign up twice and double up on the support. But
Yeah, I'm
big
not
up, Bobby
really
K.
aware.
Make some good food. Remember, you can always add salt to the dish, but you can never take it out.
Fair play.
Great.
Thanks for the tip. Love you, boys.
Take care, buddy.
Now, I do have
Always a
to
pleasure.
answer Leo's question. Is it a full English breakfast without the mushrooms? No, it's not. Then it would be like with Gualotti's Cafe, they would have the G1, the G2, the G. But if it's a full English breakfast, it has to have all the accompaniments. And it's got to have the black pudding as well.
Absolutely.
If you don't have any of those elements, it's not a full English breakfast anymore.
So
Interesting.
you're quite fundamentalist on this, mate. I don't really care as long as it's on a massive plate and the plate is full. You know, if you
it's
don't
gotta be
happen
on
to
that
be
as well.
partial. But look, from my Irish heritage, you've got to have white pudding as well as black pudding. You've got to have both sides covered.
Yeah.
Here's
Like,
my
you know,
thing is I don't see
Jedi
color
and
like
the
that.
Sith.
So
Black
pudding
or
is pudding
white.
in my eyes. I'll always say pudding is pudding, no matter the I was gonna say the pigment, but does that make sense? Because then I'm thinking about like a piggy kind of pudding. Like maybe that's more.
Yeah,
of
let's go with it. Let's go with it.
Now my son's breaking into the studio. Y'all probably heard a door shutting and a baby like, get your ass out here. Because I did tell him it would be a 90-minute show. So I don't want to go too much longer. But before we go, just to round it off, shout out Perchy. But also, what do you guys think about Oliver Skip? I feel like there's a little bit of a topic there because, you know, he has been thrusted into a point of responsibility. Do you still think all of these comments are just distracting me? Nothing's about okay. No one wants to talk about football. I'm not going to talk about Skip.
No, I want to say,
Fuck it.
Go on.
sorry, Kuva. I want to say, I was actually really, really knocked that, and I don't want to upset Ellie if she's watching or watches back, but how Højbjerg stayed on the pitch and Skippy got taken off was a disgrace.
Yeah.
Skippy was everywhere. He was chasing everything down. I think he was probably our best player on the day. Not difficult because our standards are lower than a snake's belly at the moment. But I think he's actually
That's a good saying.
showing what he's worth. You're welcome. He's showing what he's worth, and you know, which is free because he came through the academy. But no, I think he's not Maradona, but I think he plays with conviction. He plays with heart. And if we are going to rebuild the team, having him as part of that, you know, and the enthusiasm of youth, just like we did when Poch first came in, he swept a lot of the old guard out and just had players that weren't going to be around for a long time, but were there for a good time. People like Mason, people like Bentaleb, and obviously a Harold Kane did end up becoming our greatest goal scorer in terms of goals. The number of them doesn't necessarily mean he's the best ever, but he's certainly up there. But just getting in players that were hungry, had something to prove, and actually cared a little bit about the club as well. So for me, Skippy is that in this generation. So, you know, whether it's him and Sarr or him and maybe Bentancur, hopefully if he comes back, and maybe some others, maybe Maddison, whatever. But for me, Skip's shown enough that there's of a player in there that he should be staying in the team, and I think he should have stayed on. And I'm not sure we would have lost the game if he had stayed on.
He was definitely the one who stood out the most as he was willing to get up and get back, and he was making runs while not even getting looked at half the time that he was making those runs. So
Another one to throw back at you then, Phil, in that case. If it was down to you and you had a choice of getting rid of Dyer or Davis or Sanchez, someone like that, and just say, look, Tanganga had your injury problems, but if you're over that now, here's your chance. Just see what you can do this season and see if we actually get a player out of him. Do you go for that?
Look, mate, I would much rather, and I've said this, and whether it's Japhet Tanganga or whether there's other players coming through the youth, I would much rather have binned some of these players off, particularly at the centre halves. I'd much rather have binned them off and actually given youth a chance in a majority of these games, because at least then we know. because for me, the one of the issues has been with Conte and Conte light as we have now, or budget Conte, is
I like Diet Conte personally.
Diet Conte, yeah.
Mini Conte?
Zero sugar.
Mini
Sugar
Tonio. What about Mini Tonio?
Gluten-free Conte.
Exactly.
Gluten-free Conte, sugar-free Conte. I like it. Let's go sugar-free,
sweet
gluten-free,
potato Conte,
soy-based,
decontaminated.
Yeah, decontaminated.
Yeah.
I'm a big
Italian
Japhet
manager
Tanganga fan personally. I've always been on the side of he just needs a bit of confidence, a healthy run. The same thing I've always argued on the same side of Oliver Skipp, which was he's one of our own, right? He's been a Tottenham lad for years and years, so he bleeds Tottenham Hotspur, right? It's the same reason why people can't let go of a loser like Harry Kane, or excuse me, Harry Winks, not Harry Kane. No one clip that. No, reverse. Harry Winks, not Harry Kane. It sucks when you got a goat named the same first name as a snail, but yet here we are, Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, but Jacob, even Winksy, right? You won, but not a great bar, but in the Champions League final, he was our best player.
He was.
There was a tidy player in there, but
should have sold his ass to City when they came bidding for him.
Issues Spurs have had over the last few years. We have not maximised any player probably except for Harry Kane, and that I think is more to do with Harry Kane's attitude towards the game and his own.
I would also argue in the fact of Harry Kane, like what helps a man be successful is a solid foundation around him. He's a great family man. He's got a beautiful family, a wife and kids that love him. He's got a support. The only thing letting him down really is his brother. But outside of that, you would argue Harry Kane. I think Winks is the kind of guy to cry home. Oh, no one called me about my mac and cheese tonight. No one tucked me in and read me Little Lucy and her pony story. Little bitch ass mentality. That's like the problem with it. And Japhet has never been that guy. Anytime he's ever had a problem or something, he's always owned up to it. And he's always stepped up in the big games. I'm talking about big six opponents. Manchester City, he locked up Sterling. And then he went to Liverpool and locked up the other dude they got. That's not Mohamed Salah. And it was before they had Nunes. So to me, it was just
Mane or whatever.
It might have been. I just remember he was pocketing folks for the big six, and to me, that's a sign of a guy who's not afraid of the lights being too bright. And I think Harry Winks, you could argue he was our best player that Champions League night, but I mean, again, the least smelly turd is still a stinky ass piece of poo. So,
I think if Harry Winks had gone to Man City, they would actually have got something out of him because they would be playing him in his actual.
Yeah, they would have loaned him to Sporting Lisbon where he belongs.
No, they would have played. But firstly, he wouldn't have the injury problems.
He could come to New York City FC and be an average MLS player. That's what I'll say.
Harry Winks, before his injury, was one of our better players. Before he had that injury, he was actually a number 10. It was Pochettino that dropped him back.
He's a number 0. Let's keep it real. I will have no Harry Winks big upping. I will fight it tooth and nail.
There's two ways of looking at this. Either the players have got to be given enough of a chance for then a judgment to be made, both by the management and by the fans, to actually see what we've got. Because, I mean, has Tanganga ever played 8 games in a row for the club? No. I'm not sure he has.
I don't think he's got the technical ability. He's good in those games where we don't have the ball. In the games against the Cities, the Liverpools, when all he needs to do is be a physical beast, which is what he is, he's great. When we go up against Crystal Palace and we actually expected to play football because we are Tottenham and they're Crystal Palace, he falls because he comes up against a physical specimen in Luis Zaha, who then has a fight, who he then tries to have a fight with, and he gets his ass thrown on the floor and then sent off.
But this comes to my second point, Ben. Unfortunately, I think, and it's not just Spurs, I think a lot of clubs suffer from this. I think sometimes because we love the club and we support the club, especially with homegrown players, we want them to succeed. We want them to do well. But any player we buy, we want them to do well and maybe sometimes overhype them. And then, you let it drift too much. And ultimately, look, if it hasn't worked out by this stage in your career, it's probably not going to happen, right? So the best thing for all concerned is you hit the bricks. to coin an Alec Baldwin phrase. Glengarry Glen Ross, Kuva, get on that. You ever seen that?
I don't know the next time we're going to see Alec Baldwin on the big screen. It damn sure ain't going to be no action film where he's playing like a James Bond type with a handgun, because last time he held a handgun, to my knowledge, he killed a director of photography. So rest in peace to that lady. That was stayed over in New Mexico. Not great out here when
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. I'm wrapping the show up on such a positive. I mean, it's been so positive. We started with Spurs. We're ending with a little bit of Spurs and then death. So that's pretty close, I would say.
Great bedfellows.
That's basically every Tottenham season, right?
Chelsea OG.
Ends in death.
Spurs is death. That's what it is.
Spurs is slow death.
Fried breakfasts. That is
maybe that should be the name of the next Spurs documentary.
Fried
Our flag means death. You know.
Tricky One, big up, says, according to my app, Winksy ain't doing too bad at Sampdoria. According to my eyes, he's an awful footballer and should never return to Tottenham Hotspur. That's great if he's doing good for Sampdoria. I'm actually looking them up right now. And if they're sitting in the bottom 5 of the Serie A, that's exactly where he belongs. So let me look real quick. Sampdoria is in 20th place out of 20 teams, right where Harry Winks belongs. Doing well in a relegation team. Perfect. In the Serie A, he doesn't even belong in Bournemouth. Dyer, Davies, they're Bournemouth, Norwich level. Harry Winks is Sampdoria in the Serie B, or whatever they call it in Italian, the Serie B.
Sampdoria.
Oh, yeah. I lost all my Italian flair when my heart got broken by the Italian stallion, Mr. Antonio.
Don't ever lose your flair, though, mate. Flair's
Mi
important.
dispiace, signore Conte. Il live è molto merda. Molto merda.
Winks should team up with Dele and Turkey. Maybe if he hit a few balloons, he'd do better. I don't know.
Cazzo Juve, cazzo Inter.
What's cazzo?
Fuck.
Oh, very nice. Cazzo. Cazzo.
I won't say it because I don't want to get it wrong, but I used to know something with that, yeah.
I know Malacca. That's like jackass in Greek, so it's about as much as I know. But you know what? This has been actually a really fun time. I would say 60% football, 40% shenanigans, which is a pretty good ratio considering there's no Michael Ramirez here to rein me in. So I'm actually pretty proud of myself that I kept it football for at least maybe 50-60%. So
Jacob, you've been great. Everyone in the chat.
Y'all are killing it in the chat.
Shocking. The chat needs to have a long hard look at themselves.
Let us know which one of my hats was the best one. Was it the cowboy?
Oh yeah. Shuffle through them real quick while I run through the comments.
The propeller hat.
Ben, before we sign the show off, I need you to shuffle through your hats one more time. And then everyone in the chat, I need y'all to vote once he's done shuffling through his hats. I'm going to run through the comments real quick before we sign off. L said, I had to step away for a bit. Are we talking about enchiladas yet? You missed the entire... We did a 25-minute enchilada, whole lot of enchilada talk, if you know what I'm saying. Sewer said, say Norwich again. Norwich. No, like porridge?
Yeah, Norwich. Yeah.
Not Norwich. I'm
Just
sorry,
like
the last 4 letters is how I end a thing that I wrap in 2 pieces of bread, and usually mustard or mayo, sometimes lettuce and ham, turkey, possibly cheese, a sandwich. So when I see which, I see Norwich, sandwich, little canary sandwiches, maybe little light green, yellow. I've been down there. He's showing them all. I don't know why he turns his camera out. You could just like do the Mr. Potato Head or something. You know what I mean? He's got a whole process. I don't know. That one's very USA. That's like you could put if you work on your American accent, people will think you're from Dallas.
It's got to be that.
It's got to be that one. That one gets my vote. The freaking swirly hat. Let me make a quick poll for those of y'all here. Start a poll.
Wasn't there a band called the Propeller Heads?
Bound to be. I
think it was like a dance group in the 90s.
Propeller head, cowboy hat, French thing. And what was another one? Oh, the flat cap.
Original. No, and then there was the original sort of, it wasn't
Flat
a fedora, but
when Ben
I only get 4 options, Ben. So I only get 4 options. So we got to pick the best 4.
When
I've
Ben's
got propeller
got the
hat
Stetson on, when Ben's wearing the Stetson and he takes his glasses off, I thought young Chuck Norris there.
Yeah.
I like it. So we're gonna go Stetson as the 4th choice. Stetson is the 4th choice. Wait,
Stetson, propeller hat, and
the typical
baseball
Dallas,
cap.
the typical Dallas hat. I'm gonna say that one.
Dallas.
I like that
the-
top hat with the goggles on it as well.
Yeah.
that's very wild. I might watch
Steampunk.
Wild West.
That's a good one.
I love Wild West. It's
The
such
poll
a
is live, y'all. So before we end the show, please tell us which of Ben's hats you like the most. 2 votes. We're tied. Propeller head and French thing. All right, French thing's what he's got on right now. Let's see. I'll run through some of the chat before we end off and end the poll. See, now y'all got me feeling like I'm a creeper because I keep saying poll. Chuck that crap in the trash. Mark gets mad every time I whip out this Italian stallion mannequin. Flanagan, Bannigan. That is not. What am I
Toy for
talking?
Toys.
Another brilliant show as always. EK, big up, brother. Hopefully, this Friday we'll have a nice little Newcastle preview show here on the channel. So please lock it in on Friday. Not sure about the time yet, but every Friday we do a little preview show of the weekend. So please come check it out. If you want to join, man, holler at me on the WhatsApp group and I'll send a link your way. We'd love to pick your brain about what you think the matchup will look like. Yeah, tricky one. Sampdoria is at the bottom of the league. Woo! Food was good tonight. The food was good tonight. Mile High Hotspur, I know what his vote is. The W in Norwich is silent, Jacob.
Norwich, yeah.
Norwich. I feel like an Australian trying to say no while I'm itchy. Norwich. Norwich.
You actually sound quite like the people of Norwich when you say it like that.
Oh, the Canaries of Norwich. I feel that doesn't sound.
I'm not taking this abuse from somebody in a country that has Arkansas.
Oh,
I have family that live in Arkansas, my friend. The town that dreaded sundown, one of the most infamous killings of the 50s and 60s, I believe. So be careful now.
That's fair.
We run deep out there in Arkansas. My family actually in Texarkana, so shout out my family out there in Texarkana. Jacob, say Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce.
We should just do a whole show like this next time.
Just
Jacob talks English.
What I love is the rest of us are so English that we like don't want to correct him because obviously that wouldn't be.
Yeah. I'm going to correct it. When I was of Los Angeles, California, the lady behind the cashier at the gas station, as you guys call it, asked me where was my accent from, because clearly stands out wearing a flat cap and speaking a Cockney accent. So I said I'm from London, thinking everyone knows where London is if he's speaking in a Cockney accent. And she was like, "Where's that?" And all you can hear is my brother at the back of the gas station looking at power and go, "You fucking joking?" No, brilliant.
There's a London in Iowa, I think.
No, Ontario.
There's also a Loudon town, like a Loudon. We have that. I don't know where that is, but there's a USL soccer team that they're the Loudon.
Oh, you've got Paris quite close.
Paris.
We do have Paris, Texas. Yeah, we got. They actually put up like a little. They turned an oil rig into a little mini Eiffel Tower, so that's fun.
Yeah.
It shows you the heritage we got out here. And it's also one of the birthplaces very close to another place, Dublin, Texas, where they originally made Dublin Dr. Pepper. So if you know what that is, that's some good drink right there. Tricky one voted the French thing. It seems like the French thing's winning right now. No, Propeller Head. Propeller Head is the winner. It's winning right now. 8 votes so far. 15 people watching, so there's about 7 people who's just not going to select which hat they think is the best. My vote's Propeller Head. 62% of the poll says Propeller Head. No one has picked typical Dallas cap, so no one likes the flat cap, the flat build hat, Ben. It's either Propeller Head, French thing or Stetson.
Yeah.
So there
And
you go.
whoever wins, should that be the new symbol of Levy out?
Big up Maha Hotspur.
Oh, imagine
That's a
Levy
great
out
idea.
with propellers. I'm just going, Levy out, Levy
Wee
out.
you, wee you, wee you.
Propellers, yeah.
That'd
Take
be
off,
great.
Levy.
Levy
Well,
out.
gives
take
some
on
real
that.
credibility to the movement.
Exactly.
Put a real spitting image that everyone can.
You think we're all
Please
toxic
do this.
and
Levy
we're
out.
anti-Semitic, but
Levy out.
here's a
Levy
propeller
out.
hat.
Big up, Stuart.
Instead of Brian doing Levy out, what we can do is that, because that's the sign for propellers. Levy out,
Exactly.
Levy
Oh,
out.
you could do that with the Stetson as well, though, couldn't you?
You could, and if you did it leaning on a car while smoking a cigarette, you'd look mighty damn cool.
Yeah.
I'm not a proponent of smoking. I've been nicotine free for about 18 months now. So, but I've been cigarette free for almost 4 years. But I did chew nicotine gum for like 2 years, almost 3 years. So, but it's good. I'm kicking the habit. But you know what? Have a lollipop hanging out your mouth because it kind of from afar might look like a cigarette in like an old 1950 Marlboro man type of way.
Would be great as well.
Toothpick
would work.
Toothpick's quite utilitarian as well. So,
That is true. Multi-purpose here.
100%.
We're thinking Birmingham, Alabama. That's a good.
But remember, Kojak used to like a lollipop, didn't he? Who loves you, baby?
Do people from Birmingham, Alabama say I'm from Brom?
No.
I got distracted by this. I didn't hear what you said, Ben, because Bobby said we have tons of cities and streets named after England, colony after all. Is he talking about America? And is he saying we as in he is an American as well? So hell yeah.
About America, yeah.
Oh, okay,
I thought
great.
he was talking about
he's a part of Canada is a part of North America, and technically, if the word America's in it, we own it as this America.
Yeah, America.
America, exactly.
America, yeah.
America.
See, even I wish I never knew there was a place in Washington called Newcastle. That's interesting. I didn't even know that.
Washington State or Washington DC?
Washington State, I'm sure, is in the Pacific Northwest. Actually, is my favorite little
spot.
spot.
Stupid thing you guys have ever come up with. You've got district capital Washington. You've got 2 Washingtons. Imagine 2 S.
Well, technically, it's the District of Columbia, is what it is.
Still ridiculous. 2 states called Washington.
Well, I mean, the people who founded this country used to wear really weird-looking wigs and have wooden teeth. So, when it comes to like things making sense here, I've long.
Kelly Kelly, the famous WWE wrestler, so good that they had to name her twice.
I don't know who that is. No,
Big up Kelly Kelly.
Exactly.
The main person I remember when I paid attention to wrestling as a kid was the guy with the really dirty sock, and he put it in people's mouths, and I thought that was gross.
Yeah.
That made me and my brothers would get dirty socks and do that too, like fight each other and like eat the socko. Wasn't it socko?
Yes, Socko.
Socko, yeah, like eat the
sock connection. Yeah.
eat the socko, and it was disgusting. I remember that was fun. That was fun.
Absolutely.
Dirty socks in the mouth.
Best era for
Promoting dirty socks in the best era.
And let's not forget Mick Foley, the wrestler who played who's performing as Mankind, getting thrown off the top of a steel cage onto the announcement table. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, he had to tell the Undertaker, big Texan badass, because Undertaker didn't want to throw him off because he didn't want to hurt him because he was a consummate.
I met Undertaker before. He's a really nice guy. Really fucking cool.
He's a bit shorter than you, isn't he?
Big up the Undertaker.
No, it's fucking huge. And his coat is like 7 feet long. He wears it it's summer in Dallas, and he's just strolling around in a big leather jacket.
With his bandana on because he's biker.
Yeah, he's a cool guy though.
The thing is, when you're that close, when you're that high up, as he is, 7'2" or whatever he is, you're going to get a bit of snow on the top of that peak, aren't you? So it's going to be a bit chillier than the rest of his unit.
You're right. His shoulders may get a little frostbite up there.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's not dandruff, baby. Don't tell him that.
Talking of Undertaker, though, I've only been to watch the WWE once live, and it was all about the Undertaker making an entrance. It's if you haven't been and you got an opportunity to see it, it's probably too late now. Is he retired?
Yeah, he's retired.
Pity. But it was one of the best things you've ever seen. Just this deathly silence, the whole audience, everything's gone dark, and then just bang, it's there in your face. And he really is so big when he goes past. You just can't get a real sense of it on the TV. It was the same sort of era as Big Show as well. I also watched him going down the stage.
Also, like if you think KANE was enormous. He wasn't small. He was enormous, like muscular. Like,
Goldust.
Big up
Goldust, yeah.
Big up Goldust.
Listen, I think we've all missed the most important person. If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. The original Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
I thought you were going to say Daniel Levy.
Daniel Levy.
I would love it if
we can get
Ric Flair. I need to get in touch with Ric Flair and say, listen, bro, you need to come and help me. There's a guy that you need to take out.
Is for Phil P to suddenly become an absolute multi-billionaire, buy Tottenham without knowing, and him doing the Ric Flair thing when he's the consortium, he buys a quarter of the company.
Yeah.
And just Phil P to go, the consortium was me. No, you're not. In a limousine ride, jet flying, concealing, wheeler dealing, son of a gun. Because we're partners.
And would we care if we saw the team running out and there's all the usual faces, and then you got people like The Rock in there as well? Why not?
Might as well, Kuva.
I remember as a kid, it was very confusing because I thought The Rock.
Then Eric Dyer.
The Rock confused me when I was a kid a little bit, just because he would say like his name was The Rock, and then he would say, "Do you know what The Rock is cooking?" And in my head, I just imagined like rocks in one of those cauldrons that you'd make like a lot of soup in, and I was just like, it doesn't make sense if you cook rocks. I'm pretty sure there's no nutritional value there. Even if you could soften the bloody bastards up, I didn't imagine that there'd be anything you could really like use substantially in your body. So for me, when he said he was cooking, I just always thought it was a hawk of shit. He wasn't cooking nothing. And then now when you ask what The Rock is cooking, it's the same character in every movie he plays. So he's cooking the same character. He's a waffle maker, just carbon copy of himself. Maybe he's a little bit more buff in this one, maybe a little bit more tan in this one, but either way, it's going to be the same thing. So you know what, The Rock, I don't know if I don't know much about the wrestling world as much as some people, but you know what the fuck was The Rock cooking? Does anyone know? Was a question ever answered? Yeah, we really did derail this, Ben. You've hit that in this. I got to go because I'm actually late. My wife has a client, and I have to take over watching the child. I told her, yeah, these shows will go about an hour and a half tops. Hour and a half, I'm cutting it off. We're almost at 2 hours, y'all, so please do hit that like. Hit that subscribe one time for your boys on the panel, for BobbyK that was here, for Perchy. Hit the likes up because you know what? Get your money up, not your funny up, is what I always got to say. And, you know, if you can get them both up at the same time, then you don't need Viagra. So please do hit the like, hit the subscribe. Ben Kaufman has been putting the links in the chat all evening, but also you can head on over to the description of this video and you can find the Perchy links. Go subscribe over there to the Perchy. Go subscribe to the Kauffie Company and 3 Spurs Boys as well. We had 2 representatives from 3 Spurs Boys here. There it is. Kuva was pointing at it. So you can go ahead and click those links, hit a subscribe, show them some love. Tell them United Spurs of America sent you. Or you can just say Jacob Waller even sent you. You know, because sometimes maybe that'll carry a little bit more weight. They'll be like, United States of America, fuck them. I don't like America. But either way, if you want to show some support for this channel, you can hit us with a super chat in a future stream, or you can hit that join button. The membership link is pinned to the top. I just created the membership, so bear with me while I work out the kinks of that. But if you want to become a member and be like as cool as Ben Kaufman and have as many cool fucking hats as that, please do hit that join button. Get your membership. There's really cheap options. There's expensive options, whatever you want to do. And there's some perks there as well that we'll be updating more and more as we go. But right now, Ben Kaufman is the sole and only member of the channel. So you're in a pretty exclusive club right now, Ben. We do have members of the Patreon as well who have been showing some love throughout the chat. So big up yourselves. The Patreon will still be around. So if you are on the Patreon, I will treat those the same as I treat the YouTube ones. So I will still show you the love and pull up your comments.
Both.
For those that are both, I don't know. I gotta like think of some way to make a whammy slammy
There's
sandwich.
only one that is both a
There's only one, right? Yeah, I only got one of those.
But you got to make contingency plans. Don't be like Tottenham and have a contingency plan.
Well, I figured once one of them didn't get me top 4, I would just like eliminate everyone on that group.
You're gonna sack me. All right.
That's what I'll do. You're sacked. I'll kick you off one. How about that? I don't know. Well, I don't know. I'll think about that. But that's a good idea because some people, you know, Alan Sibley, he's a member of the Soggy Undies Club, which is the most expensive club on either membership, and he's still super chatted. So I do want to say big up to Alan Sibley with the largest super chat in the history of United Spurs of America. So big up yourself for that. And Alan, big up yourself for constantly supporting this channel through Patreon, through liking and subscribing. And if you don't want to do anything that costs money, I know we're all, you know, I'm broke as shit. Some people are just like me, maybe worse off than me. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. It is free. Don't cost you $1. But if you do want to go the extra mile, hit that join or hit a super chat in the future. It would be very cool. I want to see some more members in there. That'd be pretty cool once we get that.
I tried to do a £20 super chat, but it wouldn't let me because I was calling out Alan Sibley and there was too much bad language.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so you're trying to one up Alan Sibley?
It rejects it if you got.
If you try to one up on Alan Sibley, I mean, they say you could try to grow like Alan, but he'll always be 1 inch ahead of you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's one of those. But you know, big up, Alan. What are you gonna say, Ben?
I can't remember. Oh, 10 inches.
Sorry. My son's screaming in the background, so I was mute myself, so no one had to hear the wails of a toddler.
We've gone half an hour longer. This is unless you can have a penalty shootout.
Yeah, see, there he goes. He's pissed. Big up, everyone, if you've tuned in. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for hanging in there while we work out the kinks of this new show. I want to say once and finally, big shout out Perchy, big shout out Phil P. Thank you for making your debut on the show. Hope it was many more to come. And then make sure that robe smells like you when you drop it off upstairs, baby. And then Kuva, thank you so much. Always such a great contributor to the channel and to myself. Now you're going to make me watch a movie that has vehemently pissed me off for about 19 months-ish since I've seen it. So I'm going to revisit it, and I will tell you what I think about that. And Ben, thank you so much as well. I know you've been streaming. You had your brewing bollocks over there on the Kauffie Company, the chillest corner of YouTube you can find, the Kauffie Company. Go check it out. Streams every day as well. So a lot of content there and the chillest. Go check them out. I also do want to say a special thank you to all the patrons of the channel. You get your own special thank you in the countdown of this video, but you also get a special thank you in my hearts and in Michael's hearts. Your unwavering support has not gone unnoticed, and we don't laugh at you like this.
You guys never win anything, right? No. Right? Yeah.
Never laugh about the unsuccesses of this channel. We will only laugh about the stumbles, the fumbles, and the good times. But thank you so much for everyone who has been a part of this. Whether you watch it live or you watch it back on demand, please do hit that like button. It does help the channel immensely and show some love out here for us. So if anyone's got any final thing to say, I will end the show.
Go.
And as always, Levy out.
And come on, you spoys. Coys.
United Spurs of America with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.